Welcome to your practice. Come down onto your mat, open up the knees, sit back on your heels, and then gently start to extend your fingertips into Child's Pose. Starting to rest your forehead down towards the earth. Spread your fingertips wide, press your finger pads down. Maybe take a big breath in through the nose, and then sighing out the mouth. Maybe one more time, in through the nose. And then sighing out the mouth. And just start to relieve any sort of tension in the shoulders. Eyes might be closed, magnetizing your forehead down to the ground. And perhaps you set an intention at this point for your practice today, whatever that may be. May be very specific, or it might just be to move. And whenever you're ready, we'll come up onto hands and knees and just start to sink your belly towards the ground. Look forward, take a breath in, and then exhale, curl your back up, chin moves to chest. Inhale into cow pose, and then exhale into cat pose. Just starting to warm up the spine. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, curl and round in. And then just start to move into a neutral spine. We'll begin to extend just the right leg back and square your hips down. Keep the spine really long, crown of the head long, and start to pulse the foot up and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Begin to extend your left arm long, reach through the heel and the fingertips. And then stay there, or if you feel comfortable, start to reach the hand back for the foot. Push your foot into your hand and open up that low back. Keep squaring the hips down and feel a big shoulder opener. Take a few breaths in, a few breaths out, and then simply release back out, and then place hand and knee back on the floor. Curl the spine up, counter stretch, and then drop the belly down, look forward, take a breath in. Back to neutral spine. We'll extend the left foot back and then start to pulse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Just starting to activate the glute. Extend the right arm forward and stay here, or begin to bend the knee and reach that hand back for the top of the foot or the ankle. And as you push the foot into that hand, just start to open your heart. Feel a big stretch in the front of that right chest. And then when you're ready, release back out and then place hand and knee back to the floor. Curl and round in, and then take a breath in and sink back down. Tucking the toes, start to sink your hips back towards your heels. Wave your spine up and then lift up onto your knees. Stretch your hands up overhead tall. Begin to draw the thumb towards your third eye, down towards your heart center, and sit back onto your heels. Interlacing all 10 fingers, push the palms away from you and curl the back. And then open the heart as your hands reach overhead, maybe even back bending the heart up to the sky. And then unclasp the hands, sweep them down and back behind you as they reclasp, and sending the knuckles towards the floor if that feels comfortable in your shoulders. And then we'll gently begin to unwrap the fingertips, place hands back on the mat, tuck your toes and send it back into your first downward dog of your practice. And then reach your right foot up high to the sky. Feel a big stretch in that left ankle and pull the right knee towards your nose, stepping right foot to right thumb. We'll drop your left knee to the floor, untuck your toes, and lift up into a low lunge. Start to wrap your arms in front of you. So right arm's gonna come on top of the left. So maybe you have a full eagle bind right here, or maybe you just hug the shoulders if that's not available for you just yet. Or placing the backs of the arms towards one another. Wherever you are, just start to open your heart a little bit more, pulling the elbows up towards the sky. And then unwrap the hands and then sink back into a hamstring stretch. And you can use blocks here if you need it, underneath both hands or one hand. But keep the hips squared and your chest and your heart pulled forward. And gently rebend the knee, tuck your back toes, lift the back knee up, magnetize the feet towards one another, and lift high up into a high crescent lunge. You're going to start to bend the left elbow so that the left hand starts to tap the back of your neck. And then we'll reach our right hand for that elbow and pull for a little tricep stretch and even deepening into our amy.o.sides stretch. So leaning gently to the right edge of your mat and then reach the hands back up as you come to center. Hands go on either side of the right foot as you step your right foot back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out, maybe pedal the feet here if you're feeling a little bit tight in the hamstrings and the calves. And then send the left heel up to the sky. Pull the knee towards the nose using your core and step the left foot to left thumb. Sinking the right heel to the mat and untuck the toes. Pull the knee and the heel towards one another and then reach up into low lunge. And this time we'll wrap our left arm on top of our right, taking whatever arm position feels best for your shoulders. And then just start to take a breath in as you pull your elbows up a little bit higher, not dumping into your low back, but really pulling up through your thoracic spine. Take a moment to breathe here and then gently begin to unwrap the hands as your hands reach down on either side of that foot. Extend your left leg long for a nice hamstring stretch. Pulling the heart forward. And then we'll just gently rebend the left knee. Tuck the back toes, square your hips, and then we'll come up into a crescent lunge. Pause for a moment, make sure the low back is not overextended. And then place right hand on the back of the neck and then reach the left hand towards that right elbow as you gently pull your body over towards the left edge of your mat. Deepening that right side stretch. And then we'll return to center. Reach your fingertips up to the sky. Place hands on either edge of your foot and then gently step back into downward dog. Take a breath in and take a breath out. So beginning to lift the heels, send that energy up through your bum, roll your spine forward, send the shoulders towards the front of your mat and reach the crown of your head long for plank. And then wave that energy right back down through the legs and sink your heels into downward dog. Inhale, wave forward into plank pose. And then exhale, waving back into downward facing dog. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, wave forward. And then exhale, sending it back into downward facing dog. Take a breath in here and then begin to walk your hands back towards your toes, coming to the back of your mat. On your next breath in, find your halfway lift on your inhale and then exhale, folding deeply. Inhale, sweep hands over your head, come to stand. And then exhale, we'll fold back into ourself. Good. Inhale, find halfway lift, Uttanasana. And then begin to walk your hands into downward facing dog. Inhale, wave forward into plank pose. And then exhale, keep your elbows close as you lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck your toes, squeeze your shoulder blades in, lift up into lower high cobra. And then exhale, waving down. Tuck your toes, engage your core, extend your knees and come up into plank. And you can stay on toes if that's a little too tough for you. And then send back into downward dog. Walk hands back to the toes. Inhale, Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to stand. Rising fingertips over the head. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. And then exhale, fold gently. And begin to walk the hands back into downward dog. This time we're going to wave forward into plank and perform 3 yoga push-ups. So whether you need to be on your knees or toes is up to you, but right here we'll wave forward and then we'll exhale 1, come back up, 2, back up, and then on this last one we're going to lower all the way down to the floor, untuck your toes, and come into a lower high cobra. Take a breath in, shoulders away from the ears, and exhale, wave down. Knees or toes, find your plank, and then send it back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Walk hands back to your toes. Next breath in, Uttanasana, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Just finding a lot of heat in the body here. Inhale, rise hands over your head tall. And exhale, find your forward fold. Inhale, come to halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Walking hands back into downward dog. We'll begin to wave forward 3 more yoga push-ups. Take a breath in as you exhale, lower down 1, 2, coming back up, and then 3 here. If you feel comfortable, come right up into upward facing dog, untucking the toes, lifting the thighs off the mat, and then roll back over the toes into downward facing dog. Good. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Peek to the top of your mat, prepare your feet, walk, step, or float towards your hands. Take a breath in, inhale, halfway lift, Uttanasana, exhale, fold. From here, we're going to sink your hips low, reach your arms up towards the sky into chair pose. And then we'll take those wrapped eagle arms, right arm over left, finding your arm bind of choice. And sink low into that right thigh. As you pop the left heel up a little bit, start to slide your left toes back and find a lunge with the right foot in the front. Pull the elbows up towards the sky into a high crescent lunge. And then exhale, unwrap the toes. So here we're going to keep the back leg long and then straighten the front leg out as well. And feel a very deep hamstring stretch. Waving your heart forward long over that front thigh. And again, please use blocks here if you need it. Squaring those hips towards one another. And then gently rebend the right knee, reach the fingertips back up to the sky, bend the left elbow, pull that tricep over towards the right edge of your mat, and then reach the fingertips back up towards the sky. Hands are on either side of the right foot, and then we're going to step back into downward dog, but begin to sweep the right heel up and open the knee. And so maybe push through that right heel, point that right knee up towards the sky, feel a big hip stretch, and then place that right foot back on your mat. Wave forward into plank, and then find your vinyasa of choice, chaturanga into upward dog, and then we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, take a breath, look forward, walk, step, or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Uttanasana, and exhale, fold. Sink your hips low back into chair pose, reach your fingertips up high. Left arm will come on top of right this time. Hands go where they feel most comfortable. And then we'll begin to reach that right heel up off the floor and slide your right toes back like a compass for your lunge, and then pull the elbows up high. A lot of balance there. Unwrap the arms, extend that left leg long, square your hips, wave your heart out long, and then fold deeply over that front thigh. Using our blocks as needed here. And then we'll gently rebend the left knee, squeeze your hips towards one another, reach the fingertips back up high, bend that right elbow and grab the elbow with the left hand as you pull gently over towards the left edge of your mat for a nice side body opener. Fingertips back to the sky, place hands on either edge of your foot, and then step back into down dog, but begin to lift that left heel up towards the ceiling and bend that left knee, open the knee up towards the sky, push through that left heel and feel a big hip stretch. And then we'll gently place the left foot back on your mat. Take a breath in and a breath out, waving forward into plank. Exhale, finding your vinyasa, opening up the heart, and then waving into downward facing dog. Take a peek towards the top of your mat, walk, step, or float. Inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale, fold. Sink hips low, find chair pose. Right arm comes over left. And maybe this time we pop the left heel up and actually lift that left leg and cross it over the right. So just maybe hanging out here. Or if you have the flexibility in your leg, you can wrap the foot all the way around the ankle. But wherever you are, send those elbows up a little bit higher. Hold it for just a moment, and then gently unwrap the foot and begin to slide it back into our lunge position. Good. Inhale, lift those elbows up high, and then unwrap the hands reaching either edge of your foot. So we're gonna come into a standing split now. Lift that left leg up high to the sky. Our hands can be anywhere you feel comfortable, whether that's on the floor or maybe grabbing for that right ankle to pull you a little deeper, but really try to square your hips. Extend your heart out long, rebend your right knee and re-find that crescent lunge. Good. Lift the fingertips up high, bend left elbow, find that little tricep stretch for just a second or two. Fingertips back to the sky, hands on either edge of your foot, and then step back into down dog, lifting right heel high, open the knee. You can stay here, or maybe if you're feeling adventurous, drop right back into wild thing. Open that heart up, keeping that left leg long and the right knee bent. Good. Find that right hand back to the top of your mat and then come back into downward dog. And if you want your vinyasa, take it here, wave forward, and then lowering down. Inhale, find your back bend of choice, and then exhale, find downward facing dog. Lots and lots of heat here. Just find your breath, find that control. Peek to the top of your mat, walk, step, or float to the front. Inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale, forward fold. Sink hips low, find chair pose. Left arm comes right on top of the right. And then we're gonna start to lift your right heel up and then lay that right thigh over the left. Just let it sit right there. So all of our weight's on our left foot. And if you have the flexibility, just wrap those toes around the back of the ankle, but pull the elbows up here. Back is long. Steady yourself as you unwrap the left foot. Gently send that leg back into a lunge and pull the elbows up even higher. Unwrap the arms, finding our standing split. Drive strong into that left heel as you lift your right foot up high. Grabbing wherever you feel most comfortable and not worrying about what the shape is, just making sure it's not painful for you. And then hands back to the mat, rebend the left knee. Lots of strength here. Squeeze the hips, find that crescent lunge. Right elbow bends as the left hand pulls that tricep open. Reaching fingertips up high, hands on either edge of the foot. Step back into down dog and lift that left heel back up. Open the knee, and if it is in your practice, gently sink back into wild thing. Opening the heart. Extending the right leg long as the left knee is bent. And then look towards the top of your mat as that left hand magnetizes back to your mat, and then roll your left toes gently back to the floor. Resting here or finding your next vinyasa. Good. Inhale, finding the back bend, and exhale, back to downward dog. Good. So just building this sequence little by little each round. Take a breath in, look to the top of the mat, walk, step, or float. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Sink the hips low, find chair pose, right arm over left. Left leg over right, finding eagle pose. And instead of coming into a lunge, this time we're going to find warrior three. So as you unwrap that leg, begin to slow motion, let the elbows come towards the floor as the heel of the left leg lifts up, and find almost like a seesaw motion here. So as the leg lifts, the upper chest lowers. Bend that right knee deeply and sink into your lunge. Lift your elbows up high, excellent. And then unwrap the hands, finding your standing splits. Drive that left heel strong, using your glutes to lift the leg up high. And keep your right hand grounded as you begin to open the left arm up towards the sky and open the hip. Roll that left hip on top of the right, finding half moon. Absolutely feel free to stay there if you want to get adventurous, finding that little back bend by grabbing the foot of that left leg and opening the heart. When you're ready, unwrap the foot, circle your right hand back to the mat, sink into your lunge. That leg is on fire, I know. Lift back up into lunge, bend the left elbow, pull the tricep open. One more breath in, reach fingertips up, and then exhale, coming into down dog. Lift that right leg high, find your wild thing, and then coming right back into downward dog. If you want a vinyasa here, feel free to take it. Regain your breath in through the nose and out through the nose. If you have a lot of heat, maybe you let another big sigh out the mouth, open, and stick your tongue out. Look to the top of your mat, walk, step, or float. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Hips sink low into chair pose. Arms come up high. Left arm over right. Right leg over left. And find eagle. We're keeping the arms as they are, and we're going to find warrior three. So gently unwrap that right leg. As that heel goes up, the chest goes down. So we don't strain the low back. Keep your core engaged. Square your hips. Maybe there's a bend in that top knee. And then really bend that left knee as you come into your lunge. Gently landing, pull elbows up, and unwrap the hands. Find your standing split just for a moment. And then ground the left hand down to the floor of the block. Begin to open that right hip on top of the left as you reach your right fingertips up towards the sky. And staying here for half moon, or if you want to find a little back bend, grabbing the ankle or foot of the right leg with that right hand. Push that right foot in towards your hand and open that chest up tall. Good. Opening that heart. Let the foot go. Circle your right hand back down. Rebend your left knee. Sink your right toes to the mat. Lift up for a lunge. Bend the right elbow. Find that tricep stretch as you lean to the left edge of your mat. Next breath in, reach fingertips up. Fingertips go on either edge of that left foot. Left foot sweeps high to the sky. Maybe going right into wild thing for just a breath in. And as you exhale, find your downward dog. Again, vinyasa if you would like, lowering down. Inhale, find your back bend, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And so we're going to really work on shoulder and core strengthening here. So when you're ready, begin to lower down onto your forearms for Dolphin Pose and interlace all 10 fingertips. And we're going to begin to lift the heels, wave the energy up through your sit bones, and then roll your chin over the knuckles for 1, and then wave back. We're going to do 5 of these. Roll forward 2, sink the energy back through the heels, wave forward 3, and back, 4, and back, and one more. Roll forward 5, and back. Pause for just a moment. And then you're going to begin to extend your toes back so that you're in a forearm plank. Unwrap your hands and place your right hand and then left hand on the mat to come up to full plank, and then right elbow, left elbow. Then left hand, right hand, left elbow, right elbow. Right hand, right elbow, left elbow. Left hand, left elbow, right elbow. Gather your core and sink your right hip toward the edge of your mat, and then your left hip. We're gonna do that 2 and 2. 3, 3, 4, 4. Feeling this in the obliques. 5, 5. Good. Find center here, and then peel your body down onto your mat. Traction your elbows back and find Sphinx Pose. Untuck your toes. Pull your heart open. Let the shoulder blades sink down the back. And really just enjoy this rest break here. Feeling the heart rate maybe a little high, just start to slow down. And then we'll gently lower our chest all the way to the mat, squeeze your elbows in, find a plank, and then sink back into child's pose. So finding the same posture we started our practice with, but feeling how different we feel now. Just take a few moments to quiet your breath. Maybe reflect on that intention that you set. And then when you're ready, we'll gently lift our gaze and coming into an easy seat, however you choose to get there. Scooting yourself forward, we'll roll down onto our back to really cool down after a very spicy practice. So knees are bent. And we're going to begin to just windshield wiper blade those knees side to side. Very easy rotation. Not forcing a stretch that doesn't feel good here. Just trying to alleviate any tension that may be stored in the low back. When you're ready, still the knees. We'll pull the right knee in towards your chest and extend your left leg out long. And then open your right hand to the right edge of your mat and assist that right leg across your body and down using the left hand. Maybe even looking to your right palm for a full spinal twist and gently coming back up to center. We'll do the same thing with the left leg. Pull that knee into chest, right leg extends. Grab that knee with your right hand as you look towards your left palm. And then maybe eyes open and closed here. And gently come back to center. And we'll just begin to find your Shavasana, letting the arms and legs melt into the earth. Feel heavy on your mat. And just spend 1 minute of your day in stillness. And gently begin to just wiggle the fingers and toes, maybe reach arms overhead long, and in your own time, rolling to one edge of your mat and coming up to sit. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.